Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be watching or listening to us from. This is the Niger FC podcast. As always, my name is Ayoti, and I have with me my co-hosts.
Smith Lai, thank you for joining.
Yes, thank you very much to everyone that is joining us today. Um, we have an exciting conversation. We are talking about a bunch of different things, ranging from club football to off the field stuff, to the Super Eagles, to the Flamingos, to under 20 men, to the Super Falcons. So, very broad conversation today. We only have about an hour or thereabouts, just over an hour. So we'll try to make it quick. But yes, without further ado, Smilai, let us get into it. As always, I like to start by doing a recap of the past weekend of action, talking about certain players who performed well, um, and are just worthy of a mention. I have my list again. Lots and lots and lots of Nigerian players that did well. There's so many Nigerian players, so we always have lots that do well every week. This was probably even one of the least exciting weeks this season in terms of attackers. Normally every week like this, oh, hat trick for this person, two goals for that person. We didn't have that many attackers on fire like we usually do, but we had quite a number of defenders, goalkeepers, midfielders. Let's get into it very quickly. So I'll start with goalkeepers. Adebayo Adeleye kept a clean sheet and made 7 saves for NOCs in Cyprus. So that was a good performance for him. Maduka Okoye made 4 saves, also had a good game for Udinese in their Serie A defeat against AC Milan, Chukwueze's AC Milan. Um, Chiamaka Nnadozie, fantastic performance for Paris FC, kept a clean sheet, made 7 saves, made 6 clearances in their goalless draw against Lyon. Of course, if you know women's football, you know French women's football. You know that Lyon is not a small team to play with. So they worked our girl, they worked her, but she was up to the task, making 7 saves and keeping a clean sheet. A fantastic one. And then Ashley Plumptre, 1 goal and 3 assists in 45 minutes. we'll get into that a bit. But for Etihad ladies in Saudi Arabia, crazy game. Jonathan Torunariga, 6 clearances, 7 goals, 2 blocks. Good performance for Car against Shemi Ajayi, 4 goals, 3 clearances. Good performance for West Brom. Joseph Olowu with a goal, 6 clearances, 6 goals, all round good performance for Doncaster Rovers in England. Franklin Uchi Atebo kept a clean sheet, also made 10 clearances, won 10 duels, made 2 blocks for Salzburg. Good defensive display. Gabriel Shaw, 2 tackles, 5 clearances. Good performance for Auxerre in France. Stephen Eze with 2 tackles, 10 duels, 13 clearances, 1 chance created for Jamshedpur in India. We also had Victor Moses keeping a clean sheet, winning 5 duels, winning 3 tackles for Luton Town in England. Hamdi Akujobi assisted a goal while also winning 4 of his duels for our City in the Dutch Eredivisie. We had Olaino, kept a clean sheet, made 2 tackles, won 4 duels. Good performance for Nottingham Forest in the English Premier League. Moving to the midfield, Tom Dele Bashiru had a good game with 5 goals, 2 tackles for Watford. Rafael Onyedika had an assist over the weekend. Unfortunately, got sent off today. 5 goals, one as well for Club Brugge. Joe Aribo scored his first Premier League goal of the season. Also won 6 goals for Southampton. Wilfred Ndidi, 4 clearances, 4 goals, for Leicester City in Premier League. Chibuike Nwaiwu played in midfield this past week, scored his first goal since moving from the NPFL to Austria. Also created a chance, 8 goals, 8 clearances for Wolfsberger. Toby Alagbe, 4 goals, 2 blocks, 2 clearances for Asteras in Greece. Obina Nwobodo, 3 interceptions, 2 blocks, 1 chance created for Cincinnati in the MLS. David Moses with 14 goals, 5 tackles, 1 chance created for MFK Carvina. Innocent Bonke had a good game with 2 tackles, 4 goals, one for Adana Spur. Abiodun Oguni scored a goal for FK Auda, and Ebenezer Akin-Soare scored his first goal for Sampdoria um, in the Italian Serie B. And then moving on to the forward areas, Olaoluwa Kayode scored a goal for Kauno Zalgiris. Peter Olayinka had an assist for um, Red Star. Unfortunately, they lost heavily today in the Champions League. Ima Uchegbu had an assist and 112 goals for AS Trenchin. We had Francis Eze, who was on target, also created one chance for Zeleznika. We had Fortune Bassi, who scored his first goal for DAC 1904. Rashida Dajibade, three dribbles, two chances created, 11 goals, one for Atletico de Madrid. Samuel Chukwueze with a goal and a chance created for Milan in the weekend, an assist today as well in the UEFA Champions League. And then moving on to the strikers, Rosa Ario, two goals for Coops in the Finnish league, women's football. David Okereke scored a goal for Gaziantep in Turkey. Gift Monday had an immense 17 goals, won, seven tackles, five clearances, two chances created, looking like a defender stat sheet. But she had a good game for Tenerife. Chinonso Emeka scored a goal and created a chance for AS Trenchin. Victor Boniface scored a goal, also missed a penalty, and created three chances for Bayer Leverkusen. Victor Osimhen scored a wonder goal for Galatasaray. Fantastic, fantastic goal. Best goal of the season from any Nigerian player. Um, Tolu Arokodare, one goal, one assist for KRC Genk in Belgium. Victor Oswagu scored a goal for RFS. James Adeni scored a goal for Hapoel. Hadera also created three chances in that game. Abdulrahman Taiwo scored two goals for FK Alda, one from the spot. And then our star of the week for this week was Olarinwaju Kayode, who scored three goals, a hat trick for Sanliofaspor in Turkey. So fantastic, fantastic performances by a number of Nigerian players. Shout out to all of them. Hopefully, they can keep on balling like this throughout the season. Now let's talk about a couple of these players. Um, I'll start from, if I'm going position by position, let's start from defense. I don't think we should talk too much about the goalkeepers. Let's start from defense. So, Smith Ashley Plumptre, one goal and three assists from left back for Etihad Ladies. What do you have to say about this?
You know, I don't know. It's a very funny start. It's a start that you see strikers or midfielders actually what having. But for them that he's doing very well there. I remember one of these days too. He scored was it four goals in the game?
Mm-hmm.
So someone that just came back from injury, already balling again. It's not as if she's even taking time to integrate herself back to the league. She's balling and everything. To tell you, honestly, that the Saudi league is not one of the best leagues in Europe. Sorry, in the world. It's just there. It's just there. I think the NWFA is better than the Saudi league, in my opinion. I'm just saying that you should enjoy it. Enjoy it. But for me, it just tells you about the quality of the Saudi league. I don't think the Saudi league is actually what up there, in my opinion.
Yeah, and the truth is, I don't know. I think I don't know how many years she wants to stay there to make a bag, but I honestly think she should just make her bag and leave, man. She's not getting any better playing in Saudi. I know she said it's about things written on football. It's not all about money. I understand that, but from a football point of view, she's not getting any better. Um, it's nice on the stat sheet, I guess. It's nice from a personal perspective to be
Hmm.
able to play 45 minutes from defense, score one goal, get three assists. But
Hmm.
like, I watched the highlights of the game, and like, it's the quality is lower than what the Flamingos are playing, man.
Hmm.
Like, it is very, very amateurish schoolgirl football. Like, it's not like, oh, the best young, like, it is bad, it is very slow, it is very low level, the technical ability is low. Now I know that Mike Emenalo and all the people in Saudi, they are working hard to bring talent. They want the Saudi women's league to have stars the way the men's league has now, and things like that. But at the current moment, maybe she's a pioneer, maybe she's the Ronaldo, and everybody's going to start flocking in after her. We have to wait and see. But the truth is that at the current moment, the level is so low. If Anoshwala was playing in Saudi in that women's league, she'll be scoring 40, 50 goals a season.
Mm-mm. Hmm.
Like, the league, the quality is so low. Like, when I watched the highlights, because I didn't watch the game live, I was just like, bruh, like, no, Plumter deserves better than this. And I hope that she doesn't spend the rest of her career there, because she's still going to be playing for the national team. We want her to develop as a football player. We want
Yeah.
her to keep getting better. So those are my thoughts on that. But congratulations to her, man. 4 goal contributions in 45 minutes.
No big
Is
smile.
is
No big smile
is
for
not
her.
easy. It's not be small at all. Um, moving on to midfielders. Let's talk about Joe Aribo. Joe Ayodele Aribo scored his first goal of the season for Southampton. Unfortunately, I've given up on that team. Now, my own joy is that Aribo scored. Onuachu is getting minutes. The team as a whole, they are getting relegated. Me, I already know that one.
Hmm.
As only God knows how they managed to lose that game. But Aribo scored his first goal. Um, and even before this game that he scored his first goal, he's been having good performances here and there,
Yeah.
for the most part. Smilai, are you pleased by this? Do you think he can work his way back into national team graces?
Yeah, I think so. I think he's even the game he played before this game against Leicester. I think he did well. He did well. So I think it depends on what the coach wants. I don't think maybe the coach, if the coach is not going to decide, I don't think he's going to get called up. But for me, he's doing well, and he's also helping his career because you don't want him to go back again with Southampton. At least you want him to go to a better team. When they eventually get relegated. Not if now, it's when. Because
Mm,
the way it's going, I think it's a matter of when. It's not if they are not really playing well. So I
mm,
think that it's a Aribo is a good player on his day. It's just that the whole team went down, and Adu wasn't playing well. And as usual, now it was made the scapegoat in the national team. Then another getting a throw. So for me, I think that it's good for him. I think that he should continue like this. We know Aribo to be a goal scoring midfielder. So if I can continue like this, I know that clubs will be looking at him.
mm. Amazing, amazing. Excuse me. Still sticking with the midfield. Let's talk about the young player who a lot of Nigerians feel has a very high ceiling, top prospect. I'm talking about Ebenezer Akin-Soare. This
Hmm.
past weekend, scored his first professional goal. Coming off the bench and scoring for Sampdoria in their victory over Cesena in the Italian Serie B.
Hmm.
First thing I will say before I get your thoughts on this, I don't know, but I like people that champion the MPFL, like full kudos to you, man. But I'll just say people need to realize that the way to encourage other people to champion the NPFL is not
Yeah.
by insulting them and just being very smug about it. So when he scored the goal, we made a post on our page saying, "Hey, Ebenezer Akin-Soare just scored his first professional goal." We posted a video of the goal. People were complimenting him. We were happy for the boy. And then somebody came and said, "Oh, how is that his first professional goal? That he scored goals in the NNL." Okay, and you would imagine that maybe that would start a conversation and just a nice harmless debate. And then somebody now came and said, "Oh, well, these people are just NPFL neglect. They don't care about the league." Blah blah blah. It's not the first time the person is talking. And for me, I look at it that if truly we got that wrong, and you want us to focus more on the NPFL, is that the way to encourage us and to go about it? At the end of the day, when you go online anywhere and you look at any records, I'm not saying he didn't play any game in Nigeria. I'm not saying he didn't score any goal in Nigeria. But when you go online, there's no record of all that. I don't know if they asked for the records to be wiped. I don't know how we got removed. But you can look on any site that follows footballers. They do not have any record of him scoring in Nigeria. They have record of him, I think, on Transfer Market saying he played 4 games for Remo Stars, but they don't have a record of him scoring. And then the funniest part of the whole thing was that when the player himself made a post on his Instagram, even him now said, "Happy to score my first professional goal." So I can't dey look that person where the attacker say, "Okay, now is the player too an MPFL neglect?" Because him too is saying that this is his first professional goal. But all in all, Sham, I was happy for him, whether it's his first professional goal, whether it's not his first professional goal. It's his first goal in Europe since he left Nigeria. Unfortunately, in the past few weeks, he has not been a key player for Sampdoria. Like he initially was starting most games before they sacked Andrea Pello. A lot of people don't know that Pello had been sacked. because I saw some people were saying, "Oh, he's blossoming on that Pele." I said Pele when they don't release over 1 month ago, But under the new manager, he's been coming off the bench, but at least in their last two games, came off the bench, did well, scored his first goal, and hopefully, he can continue to progress like that. But Milai, what were your thoughts on Ebenezer Akin-Soare getting off the mark for Sampdoria?
No, before I even go to my thoughts about that, I think you are correct. That's his first professional goal. I think Akizomuro too is correct. That's his fourth professional goal. And I think those that are arguing, Akizomuro did not play in the NNL. He played in the NLO.
Mm,
They got promoted to the NNL when he left. He played in the NLO. NLO in Nigeria is not professional.
mm,
NLO in Nigeria is like, I think Guswa even made it like under 18 or so down. So he's not professional. So I think that for those that are saying that he scored in TCC league, that is not a professional league.
yep.
So we should just don't mix those things up. I think that I'm happy that actually what he got his first goal, and I also hope that, see, he's a guy I really want him to do well because I know that he's a boy with talent. It's
Mm,
just that time is not running so fast. That is my issue with him. I just hope that he can continue to put up, strong performances too, and maybe at least they can loan him to a Syria club, next season, at least Syria B. Because at least if he's coming on now and he's playing in Syria B, in Syria A, I think that selectors should notice him, in my opinion. Because for me, a lot of people have been arguing that is he ahead of Faustino and Anjorin? I said Anjorin is playing for Empoli in the Syria. He is still coming on. He's playing, he's starting. So if he's also playing in all the top five European leagues too, coming on, at least, it can make a case for him to the national team. But for me, I just think that he needs to do better now. Continue to do better and build on this.
mm. All right. Thank you for that clarification as well. Let's just move on to the attackers very, very quickly. We will take Victor Osimhen. Hmm. Omo, this guy, I like Osimhen because he finds a way to stay in the headlines, man. And as long as we keep talking about you, your rep, your star, I mean, for good reasons. If we're talking about it for good reasons, your rep, your star continues to grow. If you haven't seen it, go and find the video of the goal wherever you can find it. Victor Osimhen came off the bench, returning from injury for Galatasaray over the weekend, and scored a fantastic bicycle overhead kick, whatever you want to call it. Ball over the top. There was a defender in front of him. He just nudged the defender a little bit to create that distance between them. The ball bounced, and then from a standing still position, the way he just elevated and took off and executed the perfect overhead kick. The goalkeeper and all the players were just watching, like, what just happened? They wanted to complain, oh, offside, oh, this one. They were not sure exactly what happened. Beautiful goal. I've watched over like 50, 100 goals that Nigerian players have scored this season. I've seen some beautiful goals last month, some good goals, long distance strikes. But for me, this Victor Osimhen's latest goal has to stand above all as the best goal scored by a Nigerian player this season. I think the technique, yes, it's not a long range strike. Yes, he did not dribble five people and score, but the technique, the ability, and the sheer audacity, man. The sheer audacity to just try something like this. The heights that Osimhen got to, those are the heights that he got to on that bicycle kick, is like what you expect from like Ronaldo. Osimhen is an athletic specimen. The boy is so good, so talented. And when I saw that goal, I was just like, oh man, I've run out of superlatives for the guy. Fantastic, fantastic player. Also, on a personal note, I'm happy that he got another one because he's still a bit shy from my target that I set for him. I set 20 goals by the end of this year. You know, Still a bit off, but at least I think he has what now? Four. You know, so yeah, is it four? It's three goals. 3 goals and 3 assists. Okay. So it's still a bit 17 goals shy of the target. But if he continues like this, and by the knock on wood, if he stays fit as well, boy oh boy, Osimhen is going to do some amazing things for Galatasaray. But yes, I mean, like, what did you think about that?
No, no, like when he came on for Icardi, we were expecting the net to budge because it's a guy that we just all the Nigerians, everybody wants him to do well, and it's actually was proving us right. Look at even the game with last when he scored 2 goals, it was against
Against Kashim Pasa?
Kashim Pasha. He also did well in that game. That goal was also a spectacular goal. So for me, Victor Osimhen is taking after his mentor Drogba. We all know Drogba to score all these breathtaking goals and everything. So I'm happy for him. It's like he didn't leave. He said it that he's coming back after international window, and also he's stronger now. He's back stronger. So now the coach is now going to be spoiled with choice to see to be able to stick to starting Cardi or to go back to Victor Osimhen.
Amazing. And I mean, I'm sure for the Galatasaray coach,
Mm-hmm.
that's a good problem to have.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you have two strikers that you know that whichever one you start,
Mm-hmm.
because when Osimhen was starting, when Icardi just returned, he will come on, Icardi will score. Now
Mm-hmm.
Icardi is starting, Osimhen will come on and score.
Yeah.
Fantastic issue to have. Maybe the coach can even find a way to play them together, and make them work even better. But fantastic goal by Victor Osimhen. Let's see if he can score a better one this season. Let's see if anybody can score a better one this season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that was a brilliant, brilliant strike. And like I said, Osimhen is just a physical specimen. The things that this boy can do, at what, like 6 foot, 6 foot one, you know, being able to contort and move his body like that, it is amazing, man. And I mean, let's enjoy this ride while it lasts. But a big part of me cannot wait for this Galatasaray journey to be over, man. Let's see Osimhen in a real big club, man. Like
Yeah.
let's see him in a big club in a big league, and let's see what he can do at that level. He's just eating this once alive in Turkey, but
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, he can keep scoring more goals like this. Okay, I think we'll take maybe two or three more attackers very quickly. Victor Boniface scored a goal for Bayer Leverkusen. Also missed a penalty in the game. Easily could have had a hat trick, but I think that's one of the things that we kind of have to accept about Victor Boniface. Boniface is, for lack of a better term, Boniface is not a very clinical striker. I will say this. I love Boniface. I've hyped him up a lot of times, but watching him play consistently, he's not a one chance, one goal type of striker.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it's not even a two chances, one goal type of striker. Boniface is a striker that typically needs maybe three chances to score one goal. He just has a knack of missing opportunities. It doesn't make him a bad striker. The best strikers in the world all miss. Haaland misses, Osimhen misses.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of the tail of the tape when I watch Boniface these days. He misses a penalty, he misses a good chance, and then he pops up in the late stages of the game to score the winner. At the end of the day, he's happy with his performance. Bayer Leverkusen happy with his performance. They get the W, But of course, Nigerian fans have not forgiven him yet because he has not scored for the national team. But we're not talking about that right now. But Smila, how did you see Victor Boniface's performance this past weekend?
Yeah, summarize it all. I think when he missed that penalty, I thought, because he used to be that trusted penalty
Penalty
taker.
taker. Yeah.
So and he missed it. Everybody can miss penalty. It's not as if missing penalties is actually what the new thing. But for me, I just think that it's not clinical enough to play for a team that does not create opportunities. That is the problem with this issue in Nigeria. Nigeria can create like four opportunities in a game. One on one, clinical one. You have to take one. If you want to give Boniface, I don't think Boniface and Murphy. Murphy is very clinical too. I don't think, but two of them I cannot lead it.
Mm.
It's grab and smash and grab. Victor is good at doing that. So that's why Victor continues to actually Osimhen continue to play ahead of him in Nigeria. So for me, good performance for him against for his club. I hope that he can actually continue. But you know that we're getting to one story about him very soon. So I don't want to like let the cat out of the bag yet. But I just it's football. It's last weekend. I wish him the very best of luck. I just think that he should take it easy. You can to poke ball into the net, don't dress it. You can to poke it, you can do anything. You can score.
In the words of Austin Eguavon.
Yes, you can to poke it, and you can. I remember there was opportunity that I saw Arugudare scored one chance. I think the ball just fell to him and he entered the net. We want that type of opportunities for Boniface. Stay at the right place. To poke or anywhere. Don't scissors kick. Don't do don't do volley. We know that volley is sweet. Oh, I beg. Just put the ball in the back of the net. And if Victor can do that, Victor is going to be one of the top scorers in the Bundesliga.
Mm. All right, all right. Well said, well said. Okay, let's take one or two more and just wrap up this segment very quickly. Tolu Arukudari, who you mentioned, let's talk about him. One goal, one assist for KRC Genk this past weekend. He takes the season tally up to 7 goals and 1 assist in 11 games. If you haven't seen it, it was a tapping. A lot of the goals he scores are tapping, but we cannot knock. You have
Yes.
to see, for you to score it, you have to be there. A goal
Mm-hmm.
is a goal is a goal, no matter how it goes in. As long as it goes in, it's a goal. But 7 goals, 1 assist in 11 games so far this season. In an interview that I saw, they credited Arukudari previously with saying that he knows he needs to do more than the players that are in the bigger leagues. But with the kind of form that he's showing so far this season, do you think he's a serious contender for national team, or what do you think about this guy?
I don't think so. I don't think so. I don't think we should use Belgium League to judge, the returns in the Belgium League to judge who to play for Nigeria or not. We have tried it in the past, it has backfired. So I don't want us to look at that. If Aragodare is ready, they should go back to that French league that he came from and go and score those goals there too.
Mm,
And I'll be happy. Aragodare is a different striker to the ones we have. He's a guy that stays the right position, you know, and slot the ball in. One thing about him is that he's also the top scorer currently now in the Belgian league. So Nigeria also has a history of winning of winning top scorers in the Premier League. I remember the days of Eri Onyekuru. I don't know when he was in Uping. When
mm.
he was in Uping in the Belgian league.
Belgium.
Yeah, he also call him. Everything signed him and everything, but things didn't work out. So that's why I'm very careful about this Belgium league. I just think that it needs one more big move to prove
Mm,
himself. Onyekuru left to AS Monaco, never proved himself.
mm,
So we have players like Tosin Dokumu, when we do respect to Polonuachu, never proved himself in the
mm.
bigger leagues. You can't say he has proven himself in the Premier League, So for me, I just think that we should be very careful about bringing in. There's nothing that Tolu can do that Victor Boniface cannot do. I just want to say, I have to know that. There's nothing I think Tolu can do that Paul Nash cannot do.
Hmm.
As is it. So if you look at it, there's nothing that Tolu can do that Tyler Wani cannot do. So you
Hmm.
have to look at it that way before you know. Okay, are you bringing in to come and add one value or so to the national team? If it's like that, but for me, this we have like 6 strikers ahead of him.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, okay. I think I would largely agree with your sentiment. I've been saying this for the past few weeks on the show that I want him to do it over the course of a season.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy as a football player. It's not. Well, I'm not a big fan of his. In all honesty, but I like him as a football player. He's a box striker. He's not really good with his feet. He stays in the box. He
Mm-hmm.
latches onto opportunities. Nigerians have this tendency of calling every single striker goal poacher, goal poacher. But Arokodare is an actual poacher, somebody that doesn't do too much work on the ball, doesn't run around, move too much. But when the ball just falls into that 6 yard box area, he's going to be there to just put it in. A lot of the goals that he has scored this season have been tap-ins or just simple finishes. But at
Mm-hmm.
the end of the day, you have to be in that position. You have to be there to score it. So that's not a knock on him at all. But like you said, for me, I just look at it that when we keep on talking about this national team, we cannot just get carried away and throw away certain players because somebody is doing well in a lower league.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, I'm not trying to compare apples and oranges, but there is nothing that I've seen from him that I can look at and say this guy clearly improves the national team,
Mm-hmm.
or this guy is going to be an improvement on X player. There is nobody that he's coming in now and you're like, oh yeah, he's going to improve. He's better than this player, or he can do more than what this guy is doing. That's not to say that if he comes in, he's not going to do well. Nobody should get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's just hard for me to come and be advocating for him right now.
Yeah.
If he does it for longer, let's say by March, even though it's World Cup qualifiers, and being the fact that it's World Cup qualifiers also makes it a bit harder for you to bring somebody new in. But by March, if he continues like this and he has like 20 goals by March or something close, he has a much bigger shout, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We've seen Onuachu score goals aplenty in the Belgian league and still not be able to do so well with the national team.
Yes.
So it does not necessarily mean that somebody you know, is scoring goals in Belgium does not necessarily mean that the person is going to translate. All in all, hey, the guy is doing well. I have to give credit where credit is due.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully, he can continue like this. Hopefully, he can continue to score goals, and hopefully, he can keep on putting himself in this conversation. Because one season ago, that we will not even be talking about Arokodare
No.
when it comes to Super Eagles. But now we are talking about him. So
Mm-hmm.
hopefully he can keep on doing well and keep on putting himself rather in these conversations. Um, and then I think finally to just wrap up, I'll just give another shout out to Star of the Week, Olajuwon Kayode. 3 goals this past weekend. We know all the personal struggle, off the field struggle that the man has had. Had to terminate his contract, sign with a new club, and for him to score a hat trick for the club, that made me happy. And yeah, just give him his kudos, and hopefully he can continue like that for the rest of the season. Okay. Smith, like, is there any player's performance that we did not talk about that you wanted to cover, or should we move on?
We should move on. Yeah. I think I said we've
Okay.
covered it.
Okay. Okay. Very quickly, let me just go to the comments. I see somebody said they are all fringe players. That's what Emmanuel J said. And Emmanuel J, he was talking about when I was talking about different players that performed well. And you are right that a lot of them are fringe players, but what you are also missing is that is the whole point. The whole point is that these players, most of them, are relatively unknown, and we try to spotlight them here so that the casuals can know these players more, can see how they are performing, can know who is doing well. Not that when the player now you hear his name in 2 years, all of a sudden you think that is some player that just came from the sky. The way people all of a sudden are talking about maybe Olatunji as if, oh wow, when the guy has been doing playing football for how many years in Europe, everything. So that's the point of talking about these players so that people can learn their names, can know who's performing well, and then you're not shocked to hear them again in the future. My space play says goal of the season for sure, talking about Victor Osimhen's goal. Philip Etedem says Osimhen is a specimen. Osimhen is a specimen. He also says Boniface is not a clinical striker. No true awards have been said. Olu says Arokodare can be given a chance in friendly. Well, we don't have any friendly coming up. That's the sad part. We don't have any friendly coming up. Etherem Philip says Tolu is in a shout for the national team. I will put him above Ehanacho and Awoni, even Desas too. That's a serious one. Um, Samuel says Tolu is more of a poacher and poses a bigger aerial threat than Boniface at the moment. Yeah, definitely more of a poacher. Aerial threat, I would say yes. He's taller, scores a few more goals with his head. It's not like an Onuachu type of aerial threat because I don't have the exact numbers in my head, but out of his 7 goals this season, if we check, maybe only 2 have been with his head, or maybe 3 at the most. I doubt if he's up to 3, probably like 2 or 3. Boniface also has at least two headed goals this season. So it's taller, but is that really converting into headed goals or even knockdowns for his teammates, things like that? But he's definitely, more dangerous in the air. I will, I will say that. I will say that. Okay, let us move on to the next topic. Lots of performances that we've covered. Um, sorry. Well, okay, I had this written down as a different topic, but it is still talking about the player's performance. He's a player that has received criticism from Nigerian players in the past and is now gradually finding his feet. I'm talking about Samuel Chukwueze. Samuel Chukwueze, of course, this past weekend started the game. I was delighted to see that for Udinese, scored a goal. They got a red card and he was able to win the man of the match as they saw out a 1-0 victory over Okoye's team. And then today, just today, as I was getting ready for this program, he played in the UEFA Champions League and he came off the bench this time, good performance while he was on the field, and then had a nice run, nice pass for Tijani Reinders to score a goal, and then Milan cruised to a Champions League victory. Smilai, what do you have to say about this Chukwueze's recent form?
No, it's good. It's good. He's getting the playing time now because I think the coach is looking forward to the Champions League game. The midweek. That's why they played them and half four or so last weekend. He scored against a guy I have been scoring against in training with the national team. So he knows him very, very well. But the issue is Chukwueze is this. Chukwueze is talented. But the problem is this. Chukwueze need to do it every week. For example, now, he go and assist now. They're gonna play maybe I don't know, maybe they are playing Como or so. I don't know what the hell they're playing next. It's not actual play next. Why can't you go to and try and impact the game in the next? So that is it. The issue with Chukwueze is not it's not talent. It's just being consistent.
Mm, mm. No, you're very right. Chukwueze's issue has never been talent, it's that consistency. And
Mhm.
if he can, goal in the last game, assist in today's game, if he can continue like this, it can spell big things for him. Hopefully the coach continues to give him faith. Hopefully he continues to repay the faith that the coach is showing in him. And who knows, man? Anything can happen. But shout out to Samuel Chukwueze, man. Pleased to see you in this kind of form. I think last season I rated you a D for your last season performance. So this season already is already like a C, and there's still enough time to take it up to a B or maybe even an A. Who knows? Who knows? But yes, that was a good one, good week or good past few days for Samuel Chukwueze. Okay, let us talk about. I don't know if you saw this, Milai, but I wanted us to just talk about it very quickly. Nothing concrete, nothing is happening yet. But in the rumor mills about this player, Chrysantos Uchi, I saw a report that the team that likes to sign everybody on planet Earth, Chelsea, they have inquired about his situation. They've inquired about his status. They've not made any bid. Though. They are not saying they want to sign him, but they're just asking questions. Wait, who is this guy? Where did he come from? What would it take to bring him in? You know, Less than what 8 games played in the La Liga, and a team like Chelsea is already noticing him. Smilai, I know you've been big on him since before the season started. What do you think about this? The fact that he's already getting noticed by a team like Chelsea.
No, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised because as you well know, has been playing as center forward, most times, and it's clear that his future does not lie there. So I know that all these clubs too, Eljo Maresca, Vijay I heard the news about 2 days ago. The news again resurfaced again today about looking at this video about the possible what signing in January and a loan to Getafe to the end of the season. Then next season they take him in Chelsea, you know. But the issue is this. So I'm also hearing into that Getafe too. They are trying to give him a new contract,
Hmm.
by next year. So I think it's going to be a much improved contract, compared to the one he signed from White, the UD White. So I think he's a guy that will do well. I always believe this guy that this guy will be one of the best players in the near future.
Mm, mm. And I think it's a big deal for him. No
Mhm,
surprise that Getafe will want to renew the contract because I don't know if they have a release clause in his agreement, but
mhm,
considering they signed him for 500k,
mhm,
any release clause they have cannot pass maybe 10 million or
yeah,
something like that. And if he's already attracting interest from a team like Chelsea and other clubs as well, Getafe will be looking at how much they have a hot commodity on their hands. So, let them try
mhm,
to make as much money as possible. So they
mhm,
would incentivize him to sign by offering
yeah,
him more money.
mhm,
Maybe they will double his wages or triple himself, depending on how much he's already making. Then
yeah,
they will say, okay, sign with us. Let us put maybe 25 million as the release clause. And
this
then
clause,
if a club comes for you, we'll
yeah,
let you go. Getafe are not like Napoli, so we want to believe that if he does sign, it wouldn't
mhm.
be it wouldn't be a
It won't
repeat
be
of
it won't
what's
be
going
stolen
on.
talk.
But
Yeah,
I'm happy that
but it's
he's
good,
already getting this kind of interest.
and I'm hearing that things are moving fast too. So
Anything can happen. It speaks well to the quality that he has. I
mhm,
personally don't think he should join Chelsea. I won't lie, because
mhm.
where is he going to play at Chelsea, man?
Where is
Like,
he going to play?
there's Caicedo, there's Enzo Fernandez, there are
Mm-hmm.
people like Chukwuemeka, Romeo Lavia,
It's
you
Bureau.
know, Dewsbury. There's so many midfielders at Chelsea. Where
I
is he
don't even
going
know
to
why
play?
they signed this Bureau,
Another
but
thing is
that
that
one.
I don't even think he will qualify for a work permit if he joins Chelsea. I don't
Why?
think he'll qualify for a work permit. I can't remember the exact rules, but he has never played for national team. Um, you know, how many
No,
even
no,
grade?
he's
How many?
playing in the he's playing in the top five European leagues. I
Mm,
think that won't give him like 33%. I think he needs like 20. I think he needs to start like 10 games
mm.
or so. I think he qualified. National team does not
Yeah,
count.
because I know they changed the rules at some points, but I'm not exactly sure
No,
what
they
it
have
is.
changed the rule because of the UK leaving the EU. So I
Oh
think
yeah,
if,
yeah, right.
yeah, if he's playing like a top, I want to remember there was a player that had that similar situation too, and he played. This guy Kamal Din Sulaimana,
Mm,
he played for Ghana already, but he didn't. I don't think he had enough numbers in rank or so when he was coming, but he got the work permit in this thing too. So remember that it's always very hard. Even some of our players that even joined the lower leagues too. You know, some of them are not even qualified for the work permit. But
mm,
because of you know one thing or the other of where they are was coming from, they get that thing. Before it used to be like you have to play like 75% of the last 3 years, very rigid, rule then. But I think things have changed when England led the European Union.
mm.
Yeah,
I was just trying to see if I can find the exact rules. But yeah, if he's playing in Spain, that would definitely
can't yeah.
help. I'm just trying to
And
see.
like Taiwa Woni you're talking about, when he signed for.
Yeah, because that's why Awoni, after he played in
Mm-hmm.
Union Berlin a bit more, then was able to
Yeah,
qualify.
yeah.
But yeah, they need 15 points to be able to play.
Mm-hmm.
10 to 14 can appeal, but no guarantees about that. But yeah, let's not get into the legalities of it. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, I don't even see the space for him at Chelsea. So
Mm-hmm.
he can go elsewhere, man. He can go elsewhere and at least keep on playing football and
He can
let
replace
him
Sterling.
let him keep going. Sterling where and that's but yeah, shout out to Cristiano Uchi, man. Good news for him. Okay, let us leave the positivity alone for just a second and get into some of the other things that are happening in the world of football. Unfortunately, in not so good news, um, in the middle of his great form, Chidera Ejuke has suffered a high grade hamstring injury and is expected to miss 3 months of action. Of course, the injury was sustained in Sevilla's defeat against Barcelona over the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Once he got injured, you could see that he was really struggling. He needed help to get off the field. And, after the tests, Sevilla have told us that it is a high grade hamstring injury, and he likely needs 3 months to recover, and get back on the field. Smith, like, what are your thoughts on this injury by
Sad,
Ejuke?
sad, disappointing. Despite that, he did not play in the last two games for Nigeria. Unfortunately, I think he have played in Libya, but he's trying to get himself back to national team frame. He's doing well in top five European leagues, but unfortunately, this injury, come at this time. If you remember, when he checked that thing very well by himself, he was being honest. He was beating the ground, like just to show sign of frustration and disappointment that why this injury again. Well, that is it now. Nobody push him now. That is why footballers earn a lot of money
Mm.
because anything can happen at any particular time. You have to actually be honest with this guy. So for me, I think it's sad. I think Sevilla will look for a way to get him earlier in than that. When they are really, really struggling badly, they will look for a way to get him in earlier. Just like the way they did for Victor Osimhen.
Mm. Um, Honestly, yeah, when they say the spirit is willing, but the body is weak,
Hmm.
that's the case of Chidera Ejuke. Fantastic player, fantastic talents, but for whatever reason, it seems like maybe his body cannot handle high intensity like this.
Mm-hmm.
22-23 season, played in Germany, suffered a serious knee injury. He had to miss a large portion, came back, went to Belgium, did well, got this move to Spain. Now playing in Spain, been lighting it up, running up and down, another injury. Thankfully, this one is not as bad as the previous one that we think he will miss almost the whole season. But it is not a good thing, man. That's why sometimes there's players that are still talented, but they never rise to superstar level because of injuries. And I'm praying that's not the case for Ejuke, but it is unfortunate when a player suffers an injury like this. It is one thing if somebody should give you a hard tackle and you injure your ankle or something, everybody can understand and say, yeah, that tackle was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It cost it. It's another thing when your hamstring just gives up on you. And again, hamstring injuries are not rare in football. They happen, they can happen. But for a player that has suffered a serious injury in the past, it brings a little bit more concern. I really do hope that he recovers quick. I hope that he can even get back to close to the level that he was playing on. I like Chidera Ejuke a lot, a lot. I've been talking about this boy for a long time, and I just want to see him succeed, man. I just want to see him succeed. So I really do hope that, he's able to figure it out. Okay. That is that on Chidera Ejuke. Let me just see what the comments are saying very quickly before we move on again. Bola Akombi says, "My favorite sports broadcast is live. I had to set an alarm so I don't miss today's episode. I'm such a big fan." Thank you, Bola. Thank you, Bola. Your viewership is definitely appreciated. You guys make this interesting for us as well. John Jones says, I beg, talk about Lawrence Agecom. As always, I tell you guys, anything that you want us to talk about, always send it to us before we are live. If we're live and you start throwing things at us, we already have a program schedule. So we cannot really just deviate, talk about certain players, especially when there is no time like today. Olumide Dabi says, I agree with Smith on Chukwueze. He's a fine and talented player, but he's a player that's connected with a little achievement so far. He needs to push more and work harder. And then John Jones says, Uche Ebenezer Agekom Ojediro, new Nigerian midfield. I love how you guys just hype the new players that you find out about. I love it. I love it. All of a sudden now, Agekom is in the Super Eagles midfield. Um, But yes, yes. Thank you very much for all your comments. Thank you for engaging with us. I'm just waiting for Smilai to get back. I want us to talk about another incident that happened. Not good news, not good news. Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as it could have been. Thankfully, there was nothing so negative to report. But in case you guys did not hear already, over the weekend, after scoring a goal, scoring the winner for Bayer Leverkusen, I don't know what he went to do, went out, went to endurance, but I don't know exactly. Unfortunately, Super Eagles striker Victor Boniface was involved in an accident, an unfortunate incident where his car was totaled. We don't have the full details. We don't know if somebody hit him. We don't know if he was the one even driving or not. We don't know what exactly happened. All we do know is that he was involved in an accident and it did not make for pleasant viewing. It's always scary, especially when public figures get into such incidents, because obviously they are public figures. Um, and of course, when it's a football player, when it's a Nigerian football player, I'm going to pay special attention to it. Um, he had a few cuts on his hand, looked quite bloodied, but nothing crazy, nothing very deep, at least from the pictures that we saw. The car was in very bad shape. I already said that. But thankfully, it does not seem like he suffered any internal injuries. Maybe just needs a little bit of time on the recovery table, um, you know, to get back to full speed. Unfortunately for him, as a result of the injury, Victor Boniface will not be taking part in Bayer Leverkusen's UEFA Champions League game this week. He was withdrawn from their squad, but I would hope and expect him to be back in time for the weekend. He'll probably need to wear some kind of protective, soft casts or whatever the case may be on his hand, probably because of cuts that he might have. But he's definitely not taking part in a Champions League game. They replaced him in the squad. And hopefully, you know, there is no, injury that we haven't heard about. Smilai, so we're talking about Victor Boniface and the accidents that he suffered. Before I throw it to you, I think there's a few things here that struck me. So first of all, thank God he's okay. But second of all, 2024 is very different from the previous years in football. The fact that a football player, gets into an accident, it's not Son that posted it the next day and said, "Oh, this player had accidents." It's not Daily Mail that came and posted it. It's not Sky. The player himself, from the scene of the accident, is on social media showing us the crash and showing us what happened. I found it very funny. Now, again, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, your social media platform is your own personal feed to get any information that you want to get out, to get it out. It was probably better that he posted it himself than for it to pop up on a newspaper the next day. But it just shows you how times have changed. Because previously, this would be news that the newspapers would publish the next day. It would be like, whoa, what happened? How did he get into that situation? And it becomes a whole frenzy. But with the player having posted it himself, he also reassured us that he was okay. He even kept us along the journey as he went to hospital for treatment. You know, I just looked at it. I'm just like, damn, like times really have changed, man, where players are now posting their own accidents on social media and not trying to keep it hidden or not trying to wait for it to come out in the news. I thought that was different. And I also took that as a sign that he was not at fault in any way. Because if you cause accidents, nobody you go say you even use your own hand, they record and they post them for social media. So for the fact that he posted it, I want to believe that it was probably not the one that was driving. And even if he was the one that was driving, it was probably maybe another driver or something that caused the accident. And it was not his fault at all. there is nothing that they can hold him liable for. Because if there is, then that would be the dumbest thing that he could have done. But considering the fact that he posted it himself, I believe that, yeah, you know, it was probably not his fault. It wasn't, it was just wrong place, wrong time. But Smith, like, what are your thoughts on this? How did you feel, seeing the pictures, the images, and everything?
I was shocked, when I saw that. I just read about him scoring the winning goal because when he lost that penalty and some few other things, I switched channels. But I just realized that he scored that winning goal. And when Boniface score, you don't need to check Soccerway. You don't need to go and check any website. Na Twitter you go check. You go down to say, he said Turkey and he said rainwater and Gary sweet past Turkey. So as he said that thing, I went to go and check. I said he don't score. So and really, really, when I went to go and check it, he actually scored the winning goal. It's a guy that it's just a shame that that's actually what happened to him. And I saw pictures that couldn't even drive any longer. That I saw that in a taxi, now he drop him for for the trading section, or where he's like he's recovering today. And two, I have to say this thing too. I also saw some Nigerians too saying that what is he doing in that road? They know that road. Say that that's that road is far from. Where is he going to?
How do they know the road?
How do you know that road? See that road, you know that road. Where is he going to? At least if you play now, not give them off day. He
Mm.
can do whatever he likes with his off day. So it's not as if there's a training tomorrow. He's trying to go to that road. But I don't know that road, too. Because they say, why is he doing that road? Say, from where he play to where the training did say what that road is leading to somewhere. I don't know where that place is leading to. But all in all, Boniface is fine. At least he get, despite the bandage in his hand, he's still tweeting. So we're happy for that. One thing that we don't wish Boniface bad for is that his leg and his hand. Because that hand when they use the tutor, they entertain us. The proof we never see before, that Boniface they give us. So that hand though, nothing must do him, and that leg too, nothing must do him. I wish him the very best of luck.
Mm. No, yeah, I wish him the very best of luck. Of course, it's always a scary thing when
Mhm.
anybody gets into an accident. Like
Yes.
I said, when it's a football player as well, it
Hmm.
becomes even more heightened. When it's a Nigerian football player, it's like, ha, I
Hmm.
beg, oh God, But thankfully, he's okay. And I don't think we're not going to miss him on social media. He's going to miss probably one, just this UEFA Champions League game, and I think by the weekend he'll be back in action for
Hmm.
Leverkusen. And it will be like it never happened. I mean, it's the commentators will probably talk about it,
Yeah.
but but other than that, it will be like it never happened. But shout out to Victor Boniface. Shout out to Victor Boniface. 5 goals now in the Bundesliga season, and hopefully, it can continue like that. Okay, let us now transition from club football to national team football for the next 15 minutes, and then 20 minutes maybe we'll call it a wrap. I want us to end in time to watch the
Flamingos, yeah.
Flamingos play. But yeah, so Nigeria under 20 fell to a defeat, a narrow 1-0 defeat in their first game of the Wafu B under 20 tournament. They have a second game coming up against the Young Elephants of Ivory Coast. And as it is a three-team group, a win with two or more goals sees them qualify to the semi-finals. A defeat sees them out of the tournament. Smidlai, your thoughts on this?
For me, it's another year, another calculator. And you agree with me that if you are playing in a three-team group, you must not lose your first game.
Mm,
If you cannot win your first game, you must not lose your first game. And I think that that should be the instruction of the coaches to those players, that they have to be watchful. So, it's sad that, the elephants of the young elephants of Ivory Coast, they beat the Burkina Faso, 1-0 in their first game. So there's different permutations. You said it earlier that if we win by 1-0, I think Nigeria will qualify
Mm.
because it's going to go to like yellow card. Ivory Coast already had the red card, against
Mm.
Burkina Faso. So that one actually will count against them. So if we win by 2 or more goals, I think that we will qualify as a group winner, and
Mm.
maybe probably what avoid to play Ghana. Avoiding game against Ghana because it's looking at as if we qualify ourselves is Ghana. So for me, I just think that it's a sad thing to see that another generation of players again if they didn't qualify because you said it earlier. This Wafubi nine be qualifiers for the under 20 AFCON. Under
Which
20
is
AFCON is
qualifier.
the World Cup.
Yep.
So it is make or break.
If you don't qualify here, you're not going to
That
the
is
World
all.
Cup.
There is nothing for the next 2 years. We don't have any under 20.
Mm.
So it's make or break. This is like the most important game of their life.
Mm.
And they have to actually make it count. They already threw their chance away against Burkina Faso. And people have been saying that how come referee end the game at 80 minutes? It's because of the computer was miscounting things. It wasn't 80 minutes, it was 90 minutes. So, it's just sad. It's just sad. And I also want the NFF to learn too that there's no there's fire brigade approach cannot take you anywhere.
Mm.
You have to gather these players early if you know that you are serious enough. Because we saw exactly what other teams did. Ghana went to Germany to go and play a friendly game. The Nigerian team did not play a single grade A friendly game throughout just to test themselves. So, in my opinion, too, why is it that you can't even blame those boys? So it's sad. It's sad. They play on Thursday against Ivory Coast. I hope they could win, but for me, I think this might be the end of the road.
Mm. Mm. Okay. Hopefully, it is not. We need to qualify for the 20 World Cup. It will be a sad one if we don't. Just moving on quickly. In other news, we also have the information that after the Congress of African Football, apparently CAF are supposed to decide on the Nigeria Libya dispute tomorrow. Um, for context, tomorrow is October 23rd.
Mhm.
So we're expecting to hear a resolution or a disciplinary action, whatever the case may be, from CAF.
Hmm? Yeah.
People have been saying that Nigeria is asking CAF to give us the W as essentially a forfeit, 3 points, 3 goals. Libya is saying no, of course they cannot do that. That if CAF should do that, they will take the matter up to CAS, which is the Court of Arbitration for Sports. So we have to wait and see what happens with that one. Personally, I think that the best solution would have been a rescheduling of the game. Although I also understand that CAF just cannot find the time to reschedule the game for because the calendar is so clogged. So it's going to be interesting what they come up with. Some people have suggested that maybe they'll just give Nigeria 1 point, give Libya 1 point, and move on. But yes, like your thoughts on this very quickly. What do you think should happen?
For me, I think it's so sad because the calendar is very tight. And if you listen to Musepe, the CAF president, talk today, you will know exactly where the pendulum will swing. He said that this should not be happening. He said that it's like a deliberate act by host countries to actually what to weaken their opposition. He said during COVID, they will go and do all these fake COVID tests
Mm.
and pick the best players.
And say that they have COVID.
Yeah, I remember when they went to go and play against Benin Republic, they said Alex Wobi had COVID, that he should quarantine for 14 days in Benin. Like, I don't know if you heard about this story. And this guy, this COVID test, he was back to play for Everton then in his club side after.
Mm.
So I was wondering that this thing we should stop all these balls. For me, I think CAF should do the needful. You said it earlier, there's no calendar, there's no window. the last qualifier, the last qualifier must take place in November. And there's no way Nigeria can play 3 games in
in that
a
window.
window. Because in Africa, they do it in South America. Oh. In Africa, the logistics does not favor you. Look at how they divert play. Look at all those, look at what they are doing. It can never favor you. And if you want to schedule it to what, to a neutral venue, where do you want to take it to? The next game that Nigeria will play is in Ivory Coast against Benin Republic. Do you want to say we should go and play that game first there before we play against Benin Republic? The Rwanda is playing against what's it called? Rwanda will host Libya in Kigali. Can you see the difference, west to east? So if you say Libya should play that game and now take and now fly straight away to Libya, it doesn't work. And after that, we play in Uyo against Rwanda. Rwanda will also what's it called? They will also, I think they play against Rwanda play against Nigeria in the final game. Then Libya will play against Benin Republic in Benghazi. So how do you want to? It's a very tough thing for me. I think the best bet is a forfeit. Just give Nigeria 3 points and 3 goals. Claim out. That's all.
Hmm.
Mhm,
Okay.
mhm.
Okay.
And sanction Libya from playing at home. Because I don't even know what's going to happen if Libya is sanctioned from playing at home. Will Sudan still play in Benghazi?
Hmm.
That's another problem.
Hmm.
Hmm.
We have to wait and see what happens. Regardless of the outcome, somebody is going to be unhappy about it. But
Hmm.
I think that CAF, like you said, um, when Mosepe, the CAF president, was speaking, he seemed very adamant about not condoning this kind of behavior, and
Hmm.
hopefully he puts the actions where his words are, and they do it in Nigeria's favor, because it
Hmm.
was just totally unnecessary what's
Hmm.
happened in Libya. Okay, for the sake of time, let us move forward very quickly. Let's talk very quickly now about the Flamingos. The Flamingos, of course, have advanced into the quarterfinals of the FIFA Under 17 Women's World Cup after their first 2 matches. 8 goals in 2 games, top goal scorers alongside Spain in the tournament so far. And then they play the host nation, DR, the Dominican Republic tonight. The game is tonight, October 22nd. If you are in North America, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. If you are in Europe or in Nigeria, that is 12 a.m. Nigerian time, 12 a.m. British time, and 1 a.m. Central European time. But yes, we'll talk about them in more detail when they go along. But so far, how do you see their performance in this under 17 Women's World Cup?
Coach Luka is someone that knows exactly what he's doing, and I think he's trying to continue from what he did against what he did in the last under 17 World Cup in India. Don't forget that we came third. That was our best finish, in the history of that tournament. And the same coach too might likely be having 3 wins from 3 games. But my problem is this: anytime Nigeria have 3 wins from 3 games, they collapse in the quarterfinals.
Mm.
That is my issue. So, and just about 10 minutes ago now, USA just hammered South Korea, Korea Republic, 4 goals to nothing. So it's now likely that Nigeria will play against USA in the quarter final. So, it's going to be a very tough one, but the guys have been doing well. I have to point out, this girl, Epinon, the left up front, fantastic player. Moshood Chakirat, is it Chakurat? Chukurat, yeah, very, very good.
That's
Chukurat, very good player. Taiwo Afolabi, the veteran himself. I'll call her the veteran, despite still being on a 17, because 2 years ago she won the NWFL. So
the
and
skipper of the team.
yeah. So and for me, I think that they are a very good side. I just also think that we have not really faced a team
Tough
that shows
opposition
top
yet.
position. Yes.
Yeah, that's very true. I think they're doing well so far, but we have to see how they advance the knockout rounds. With all due respect, beating New Zealand, beating Ecuador is to be expected.
Mm-hmm.
Even Dominican Republic tonight also to be expected that you win. But when you get into the knockout rounds, when you have to face teams like a USA, when you have to face teams like a Spain that are top in their own group, when you have to face England, when you have to face North Korea that are killing it in women's football right now in the youth department, how do you perform? That's what we have to wait and see. USA, I believe that if we face the USA, they're a beatable team. I want to say that, but obviously it's not going to be easy at all
Mm-hmm.
because they have some quality players. But shout out to the Flamingos. We'll be watching you tonight. Hopefully, you can get another W, and we'll see what happens in the knockout round. Okay, and to wrap up today's conversation, let us get into the big sisters. Let's talk about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. In case you haven't seen it, the squad list was released for the Super Falcons to face Algeria in a friendly double header in Lagos later this month, October 26th and October 29th. The squad list I'll just try to run through very quickly. Chiamaka Nnadozie, Monle Oyono, Rachel Unachuku are the goalkeepers. Defenders are Chidima Okeke, Tosin Dimei, Miracle Sani, Florence Alexander, Blessing Ilevida, Sikiratu Isa, Comfort Folorunshaw, Tessie Ojiwoyi, Chidima Ogbuchi, those are the defenders. Midfielders are Rashad Ajibade, the captain. Esther Onyezide, Shukura Toladipo, Chioma Olise, Josephine Matthias, and Amarachi Odoma. And then the forwards are Gift Monday, Goodness Osigwe, Janet Akekoromowe, Delight Nwosu, Folashade Jamilusi, Messi Omoko, and Olamide Bolaji. Um, I think the thing that obviously slaps you on the face when you see or hear the squad list is that there are only, if I'm not mistaken, there are only six players that were called up to this squad that play outside of Nigeria. Only six foreign-born players, foreign-based players, excuse me, that are in this squad. First things first, I told you guys that this is going to happen. Um, Now, I've spoken to several people, I've engaged in Twitter conversations with several people that are for and against this. The likes of Samuel Amadu, who is a big pusher of women's football and also a big pusher for home-based NWFL football. They believe that this is a good thing. That Madugu was part of the people that helped to bring up this current generation of stars that we have. So he knows how to do it and integrate the home-based players into the team. But I'll be honest with you, I'm not excited by this project. I'm not excited by this project. Um, they are undoing a lot of work that has been done by the last coach and the progress that the team has made. Now, is there anything wrong with integrating home-based players into the Super Falcons? No, absolutely nothing wrong. But let it be the best home-based players. Now, using our friendly window that the core of the team should be spending on getting better as a team, understanding themselves better, is used to test out new players. Here's the interesting part of this whole thing. They say there is no home based agenda, that it is just part of this larger project to integrate home based players. But what you need to really look at, who are the foreign based players that they called? I think that's what tells you the whole story. Chiamaka Nnadozie, where did she start? Rivers Angels. Chidima Okeke, where did she start? FC Robo. Rashida Ajibade, where did she start? FC Robo.
Mm-hmm.
Esther Onyenezide, where did she start? FC Robo.
Zero.
Gift Monday, where did she start? FC Robo.
Zero.
So it shows you that the criteria for the six foreign based players that were called was not based on performance, was not based on how their season is going. They simply called those foreign born players or foreign based players that started their careers within Nigeria.
Hmm.
They want to push this narrative that the local league can produce Super Falcons players, so we need to have more of them in it. Now, nobody is saying that the local league cannot produce Super Falcons players, but you cannot throw every Tom, Dick, and Harry to the Wolves and just say, now, any out of these 25 players that they called up, Rachel Unachuku can tomorrow tell us that she's a Super Falcons player.
Mm-hmm.
Florence Alexander, oh, I'm a Super Falcons player as well. The same thing we've done to our Super Eagles. We want to do it. Super Eagles has never become this bad. It's only one or two that they be chucking into Super Eagles. But with Super Falcons, they want to do the same thing. You're about to water down what it means to be a Super Falcons player in your bid to promote the league. Other countries, they grow the league and then they push them to the national team. Nigeria wants to push to the national team, then try to use that to grow the league. Now, some of these players, if they do well and they play, they will call them up the next break in November. After that, maybe they will move abroad. All of a sudden, you'll dump them and start calling other people because there is no merit that they use. Even the foreign based, there is no merit that they used to call the foreign based. Chiamaka is Chiamaka, of course, Chiamaka is going to be there. Ajibade, of course, is going to be there. If you wanted to, if you said, okay, let's call one of the regular defenders, let's call. Is it Okeke you call? Okay, let's even agree with the main. But if you wanted to call one of the regular defenders, is it Okeke you will call? Midfield.
So did man get a call up?
Yeah, the main is there. I forgot to mention, I think I mentioned, or maybe I forgot, but the main is there. Midfield. If you want to call up one of the regular midfielders, is it Esther Winezide that you will call? What was Winezide doing to merit the call up? Forwards. If you want to call one of the regular forwards, is it Gift Money that you call?
Hmm.
I don't know if maybe they will say they were just going for the youngish ones among them, but it is clearly not a merit-based thing. In my opinion, they just called up the foreign-based that started in the local league so that they can use it and point and say, "Oh, look at that Ajibade, look at Nadozie. They started in the local league. They are now key players in Super Falcons. So why can't these other players also become key players?" But for me, we are doing it the wrong way. This is not how to grow the league. This is not how to grow the league. And they are going to continue like this for the next window and probably the one after that.
Mm-hmm.
Then closer to the WAFCON, they will now try to bring in most of the key players. The time that they should have been using to progress, the time that they should have been using to learn each other better, to get better as a team, has been wasted. Then if they go to the WAFCON and then they don't win, it will become another issue about how they are lazy, they are this, it's only fine girl, it's only makeup, all the things that Nigerians just like to throw about when players don't do well. I have nothing against the coach. I love the Super Falcons dearly, but I am not happy with what they are doing. Even I want to see the home based players get their chance. Even I want to see the best ones in the league. But you do not make a 25-player list, call 19 home based players, and then say that you are doing it the right way. You want to find players for the future. This is not how to do it. Call three, call four, test them out. Yes, fine. Nobody will complain too much. But just doing this kind of wholesale change, then if they now beat Algeria, that is a very weak team, they will now use that one to push the narrative more. That, oh, see, they beat Algeria. So that's why they should be in the team. As if Algeria is a team that we even worry about. Let's see how it goes. Let's see how it goes. Smidla, your thoughts on this?
No, you said it all. That's why I said it to our chat there that you're the prophet. You know exactly what will happen. Maybe you have some inside stories about inside information about all these things, but you said it. I would like you to maybe you can cut down the clip from our previous edition and now match it, in this one. You said it before that this will happen, and I'm surprised. And I would not say I was surprised totally because I know the agenda from Ibrahim Gusso. I know that he's into pushing all these local based players into the national team. He's big on the league, but for me, I think that one is delusional because the league is not like the league of yesteryears. So if you want to impose players of the league to the national team, that means that you want to water down the national team, which is not extremely what very poor. So some people are saying that in their life that no foreign born will play for any of Nigeria underage. Look at what is happening now in Togo. Look at them there. So, somebody kicked the air in our box. Our defender kicked the air. That's why Burkina Faso scored. So to tell you that we just need to be realistic. We need to be able to talk to ourselves, say truth. Anybody that you cannot decide which country you were born. You cannot decide who your parents will be. You cannot decide the type of upbringing you're going to have. There's some things in life you cannot decide. If you are born in USA or Mexico or Canada, it's not a crime. Nobody should be more Nigerian than the other. If they are good enough, why can't you call them? Why can't you invite them? Let them also compete. When I saw that there's no adultery, there's no shaking, I know exactly what they're trying to push. It's just that you build something for how many years and you want to destroy it with your own hands. And I will tell you, this team, if it is what they want to project, I watched the Wafubi qualifiers for the CAF Champions League, Women's Champions League. Edo Queens played well, but they were closely challenged too by all this Benin Republic team. So if it can be like that in this West African zone, I don't know what it's going to be like when they go and play in the Africa CAF Women's Champions League. So we should know that it's not like before. We should not joke with the national team again. I just hope that this their project will not consume them.
I really hope so too. Somebody here said if the strategy is to try home based players and also foreign based players in a few windows, not too bad. Again, this is just, in my opinion, not the right way to go about it. The idea is supposed to be to integrate the home based players into the squad that we already have. You would have simply just called all the home based players. Let us know that this is a home based Super Falcons squad, Super Falcons chance code. But when you mix it like this, it just seems like, again, like I said, and then you look at all the foreign base that they called are players that all played in the local league before. It is just pushing that local league agenda and just trying to show us that, oh, if Ajibade can do it, then why shouldn't this person get their chance? And this is not the way to get their chance, in my own opinion. Don't water down what it means to be Super Falcons players. Super Falcons are supposed to be the best women across the board that are of Nigerian heritage, descent, nationality. So once you start to do things like this, believe me, the next squad will be similar to this.
Hmm.
A lot of home based and some foreign based. I just hope that they are not going to try to do some wholesale change. Because if we want to continue doing well, the core of the squad has to stay the same. In the whole Super Falcons squad, like realistically, let's even look at the Olympics. If you even wanted to drop some players, wouldn't Okeke be one of the first players you drop?
Mm-hmm.
But Okeke is in this squad.
Mm-hmm.
So it has nothing to do with performance
Hmm.
and simply with the
Hmm.
agenda that they want to push of home based, and maybe you can say youth a little bit.
Yeah.
But let us see how they continue with it. Let us see what happens. I love this team so much. I hope that they don't kill my joy for the Super Falcons. In essence of time, we'll call it a wrap there.
Mm-hmm.
The Flamingos are in action against
Yeah.
Dominican Republic. So if you are watching live with us, please make sure you go watch that game. If you are watching on replay, you can check our social media to see the results of the match. But yes, Midlai, final word before we go.
Nice to be back. Apologies that we were not here last week, and we promise that it was circumstances beyond our control. So don't worry, guys, we'll make it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Thank
I
you.
should have mentioned that. Apologies for missing last week. I was not feeling too well actually, so I just wasn't able to really come on live. But by the grace of God, we'll continue. Without missing a beat for the rest of this year and even into 2025 as well. But thank you very much, guys, for sticking with us. If you haven't liked the video, please make sure you like. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please make sure you subscribe to the channel. We have an interview with Emmanuel Ume coming soon, and then some more in the future. I'm trying to do an interview with Benjamin Frederick, so watch out if I'm able to land that. He's an interesting boy that people have been telling me to talk to. And then, of course, I still have some other interviews with Babajide, with Iwala, with Animu that I'm still trying to work on and find the right time. But we'll keep on feeding you with good content. Of course, the weekly podcast will remain, a constant. So please subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on anything that we have in the works. And as always, we appreciate every single one of you. Until next time, my name is Ayoti. My co-host is.
Smith Lai, thank you for joining. See you again next time.
Thank you. This is the
Thank
Niger
you.
FC podcast. Bye bye.